Hi, this is Jay Aaseng from Twin Peaks: The Return. You're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
Wow. I don't know if I ever mentioned this on the podcast before or not. I had this idea. About performance art, street performers who have karaoke going on, and they're just inviting anybody up there to sing along. Maybe you could have like one of those disinfected wipes or something on the microphone. All right, we've arrived at the stop. I gotta figure out how to get out of here. More on this later. This idea just struck me. Sometimes I'll put on a jacket expecting, let's say, my podcast microphone or, what have you, pack of gum. So I'll put on a jacket expecting what I usually carry with me to be in there. And so, sometimes I wear a different jacket. And then I find different things in those pockets. However, I thought about this idea of how interesting that would be. Is you could put it into a movie. That'd be cool if it was in a movie, some kind of series. Something where basically the person puts stuff into the jacket pocket of the one jacket, and then bam, later on in the movie they're wearing a different jacket, but then they go in their pocket and there's the thing that they put it in the other jacket pocket. So you get the idea that maybe they're quantum pockets or something. It transfers over from one jacket to the other. That could be possible. And if that's the case, then what if, let's say, for instance, in the movie, what if it's like that with all their clothes, their pants even, their shirts, if they're wearing a shirt pocket. So I'm just jamming on the what if here. Let's say at some point in the movie, the guy has a girlfriend. She sleeps over for whatever reason. Maybe she spills something on her pants. She's got to wear some of his pants. And maybe there's something that happens in the movie where, I don't know, maybe she gets kidnapped or something. And then he's got to pass her something through the jean pocket. Or maybe she borrows his jacket. So he, just puts it right into the pocket. Maybe it's a taser gun. Maybe it's like, I don't know what it would be, but maybe he puts something into his pocket, and then wherever she's at, then he just pulls it right out of there and has, this thing that she needs. So, yeah, that just popped in my brain. And I thought, man, that would be astounding to be able to have something that utilizes that technique. It could be science fiction-ish. However, it's not necessarily imperative that it's named that genre. Kind of like the movie Jesus' Son, where there's a part in the movie where he reaches his hand through the window. And he reaches his hand through the window. And you never know whether that's in his brain or that actually happens. It's just so cool. I love that kind of aspect where you're not going into the movie expecting it to be a sci-fi, and then something happens. Couple little things happen that lead you to believe, oh, there's some awesome supernaturality happening here. Well, I just got off the phone with Katie Bright, an old friend of mine. She works for CAA. Her husband is going to be performing on the 20th, and she wants me to come out and perform some of my original songs, which is just awesome and exciting. So that's going to be happening February 20th at this place in Koreatown. Now, this is the crazy thing. I have silver aviator glasses, and it's crazy because I put them on. I put them on and I go fishing in my jacket for, I don't know what it was, or no, my backpack for something. I don't know what it was. I was trying to get something. And in there, I end up finding more silver aviator glasses. And I'm curious how the heck this happened. This is the second type of thing like this that this has happened to me. Second time. The first time was probably, I don't know, 8 months ago. More than that. Probably over a year ago. Interesting. I happened to find Ray-Bans at a 311 show. Now, mind you, this was before I was even in Yächtley Crëw and before Yächtley Crëw was asked to play at 311. So I was at a show, 311 happened to be playing. Oh, and that's where Young the Giant was playing. And that's where I first saw them. And whoa, what an experience that is. Such a positive vibe. So I found these Ray-Bans. I'd never had Ray-Bans before, and so I'd wear these every once in a while. And all of a sudden, somehow, I end up getting a second thing of Ray-Bans, and it was just like confusing me. It was such a crazy, interesting thing because I'd never had Ray-Bans before in my life. And all of a sudden, I had 2 Ray-Bans, but once I got the second Ray-Ban, the first Ray-Ban, I don't know what happened to it. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was something like that. I think the first one, maybe I lost or I misplaced or something. And then I found the next ones, which I thought, I found my Ray-Bans again. But it turns out that it wasn't those Ray-Bans. It was different Ray-Bans. It's just a huge, crazy conundrum. Anyway, this situation reminds me exactly of that.
Influences are just, especially I think I hear this a lot from parents, like in the parenting community, because you see your kids like that have TVs around them and iPads and phones, and you're on your phone and your kid sees you on your phone and they want to be on a device too because they see their parents on it, and it's just constant. Like I think I can see there being a cultural and like ethical backlash where people yearn for that Amish lifestyle where they're like, because you were just saying to me how those communities can be. You see how those communities can be so tight knit. Well, families are growing. I mean, I don't know. This is my theory. Take it or leave it, however you want. But I see it happening where families are drifting apart within their own house. Like everybody's together in the same house, but everybody's got their heads in their screens and in front of the TV, or I enjoy relaxing and watching TV with my kids too, and I used to do it with my dad, and it was a fun, I have fun bonding memories for that. But the ones I cherish the most are ones where we're like in the woods hiking, or outdoors at the beach, or playing ball at the park, like interacting like personally, one-on-one, so I don't know, I think people I can see there be a faction of American culture or Western culture that would be like, that would have a desire for that and want to start a movement where, like, I mean, the Amish have been doing it for centuries or however long, and I can see there being like I can see there being like a yearning for that, people like a new like movement where people like, I don't know, they'll call themselves the anti, I don't know, not anti because that sounds too negative, but the pure lifers, the purity life, or like where you abstain. People already do it. They abstain. They have their fasting from technological devices, or to even more simplify it, Facebook fasting or social media fasting, where they won't check their social media or whatever. But like, you see people seeing the effects of electronics and technology where it has all of these negative impacts, and you see like you need to like take a deep breath of fresh air from all of that. Like to me, it feels, I see myself, because my day job, I'm at the computer all day. I have electronics. Like there's this like people always being able to get a hold of you or needing you to reply to their emails or their texts or their whatever social media posts. Like you have to have this presence technologically. It's like always pulling at you, and it seems suffocating and claustrophobic. Like I just want to go out. I want to go out to the mountains and go on a backpacking trip and get away from it all.
It's that closeness to nature.
Yeah.
That is really such a huge deal. And, with that...
We're so lucky we live on the West Coast, like close to the ocean and blue skies, and you can go outside. Like even during these cold months, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Stoney.
No.
But even during these cold months, the sun goes down. I get home from work with my kids at 4:30, and I want to go out and play with them, and the sun goes down at like 5:30. You only get a good 45 minutes an hour before it gets dark and cold. Those poor people that have that like 6 months out of the year, like where it's snowing and they can't go outside at all because it's so cold. Like we're so lucky to live where we live, where we're at, like it's Saturday and we're at the beach right now and it's like 80 degrees in January. We're so lucky. We're so lucky. Anyways, yeah.
We are lucky.
I always feel, maybe it's because how my dad brought me up, I've always felt like a yearning to be close to nature. Like I feel the creator, like I feel like at the core of my spirit, I feel revived when I'm out with nature, breathing fresh air and seeing the trees blow in the wind on my face, the dirt under my feet, crunching rocks.
I feel it's the purest form of communion. It's you're
and doing that with
we
another
come out
person.
Of the earth,
yeah,
and so we're it's the earth is known as a living. It's a living creature.
Right.
It's living.
Yeah.
And it's just letting us. It's just allowing us to stay here.
Yeah,
we're like
sustaining life for us, and
yeah.
And I don't know if we're doing what we can to give back to the earth or make sure it is able to sustain our life. But like you hear, that's another thing you constantly hear in the news, the 24-hour news cycle about how our earth is destined for doom. We're doomed, and our earth is falling apart, and we're killing it.
Yeah, the more the populace watches the news and allows those to be the mantras that go on their brains day in, day out, that becomes their conversation. That's the food they're eating, and then that's the output that's coming out of them. So it's like they're just perpetuating it. And for those of us who realize and implement the ideas of manifestation of reality and the idea that each of us is our own sort of creator of our particular reality thing, what happens then is that this reality is happening for each of us because of the information that we're precipitating in this little ecosystem.
Yeah.
It's like there's a ball around you, and that's your little ecosystem.
Yeah.
And then what are you putting into that ecosystem, and what's coming out of that ecosystem?
Yeah.
What language is coming in, or what food is coming in, and then what language is going out, because that's all going to keep echoing.
And that affects somebody else's biosphere or ecosystem.
Yes. And so imagine if
I
all
always
those
feel
people...
that I always feel so inspired to I don't know, and so creatively inspired and okay to be myself when I hang out with you, Stoney.
Oh, man.
You're always you're encouraging to be I remember when it must have been a year ago at Discovery or something, and we had a conversation about just no structure, music, improvising, playing music without any boundaries or something, just whatever. I can't remember exactly what it was, but you encouraged me to make these sounds on my instrument.
Oh yeah,
that have you just said do whatever you want, and they sent you a few clips and you used them in your podcast. And I mean that's just a small example, but whenever I hang out with you, you're always so reviving and encouraging that way with creativity and personally and in life.
Thank you so much.
You're such a positive force, a positive force for just kindness and mutual respect and mutual creativity and I everything that you do all the time.
Man, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. It's this world needs more of Stony Shores.
Oh gosh, man! I just love seeing people getting a kick out of what they're doing, and I love seeing people in their element where they're not feeling apologetic, not feeling the need to compare themselves, not feeling the need to be the top dog, the king of the hill. Just just fully enthralled with, and just as surprised about the information coming out of them as anyone else who's outside of that listening to it. And it's like, oh, I love that. And it's funny because like the revelation struck me was that when we go to see concerts, for instance, I think that's why live music can really get you, or a play can really affect the audience in major ways. When we go to see a play, what we're really subconsciously, I think, what we're really hoping, or when we go see a band, what we're secretly hoping is that they are just going to be in their best element and be the best that they can be, that they are just going to get so lost in their music, because the more that they are lost in and allowing it to be channeled through them, what's so crazy is now the performer has stepped out of the way of the inspiration, and they're just going, okay, all right, I'm the pencil that you're moving along on the paper.
Right.
Take me along. And then what's so beautiful, because they're diving so deep into that, and their fingers on the pulse of that electricity, and they're not standing in the way. What's great is they're now becoming a conduit for us to experience that raw authenticity of what they themselves are feeling. It's the different. It's, you can't get a clear. There's this analogy that I thought of where it's like a needle on a record, and that needle's got to be in the groove, and it's why. And in order to be in that groove, it's got to be flexible so it can feel the waves. It's got to be willing to bend and move. That groove is.
That's really creative. That's really interesting.
And then that's the only way we're going to be able to hear that music uncorrupted. It's funny, the groove is the groove. It's just being what it is. The needle is just going with whatever. Okay, they're making an agreement there. They're going, okay, we're going to do this. And then whoop, and then all of a sudden the ear on the gramophone has to be uncorrupted too. It's got to be unclogged. So then, bam! Now we even get, because if that's clogged, then we're not getting that pure sound. So it's like, it's so crazy. It goes all the way down. And then now the ear that hears that has got to be uncorrupted, unclogged to be able to hear it. Because it's always going to be one step removed. So I think what's so great is when we go to see, for instance, like Cirque du Soleil, and we're like, oh my gosh, how can they be so awesome at what they're doing? It's because they're not overthinking it. They're not trying to be the cool guy. They're not letting their egos overtake them, because then what happens? Then you squinch up and you become this. You're not flexible. You're not motionable, and you got to be motionable and flexible in order for everybody else to, I think, really truly feel that and experience that. Because let's see, what is that like with karate? They practice, and then it just becomes part of their body, because if they're thinking about what they're doing, then they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. What you're supposed to be doing is just letting the spirit kind of overtake you in that moment. Like you with your saxophone, you rehearse, you got all these things you're thinking about, but then at some point, you're just letting it flow through you, and it's doing what it wants to do, and you're overtaking it. I mean, sometimes you're inspired in that moment to do something that there's no way that you could have previously thought about or had foresight to do. It happened and improvised in that moment, and it's beautiful, and it's so cool, and it's so exciting. And so, the more that I can pull that out of people is like the more that I just get such satisfaction. Because on the other side, otherwise, I get cringy and I start feeling embarrassed for a person if they can't get out of the way of themselves. Yeah. And just because I'm like, oh gosh, I feel like, if only I could just dive into your soul right now and help untie whatever that thing is. so that just pure authenticity can just shine through.
That's all right.
What are we looking for?
There might be a paper clip in my glove box or something, to tie my papers together.
Yes.
That's all right. I'll just let my papers be loose here.
Part of me. You're part of me.
Yeah, do you experience any of that at the Tuesdays? At what's it called, Sunspace?
Oh, Unusual Tuesdays. Sometimes I do.
People get up there, and people like put themselves out on a limb, or not on a limb, but like out in the limelight, and are just obviously not prepared for that moment, and then just flop.
Well, I see, and that's the funny thing. That's so funny is that I think the flop comes from the person not trusting in the information that they got and not letting it come through. And I've seen it on a couple of occasions, particularly if there are comedians who are used to playing in a certain kind of venue or a certain kind of behavior mindset. I've seen some people who you could tell that they're getting in the way of themselves, and then there are those times where there's just completely unapologetic commitment, and the more commitment to it is that's why we like watching good movies. That's what makes the good actors. A good actor who's so committed to what he's doing, and he's not, because otherwise you can tell if someone's watching themselves and what kind of reaction that they might have made on something. But if they're just in it and they're true to that thing, it's like, whoa, I want to go on the journey here.
You want to experience that more. It's like addicting.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And that's why I'm so excited about reading this book right now called Ensemble, which is this book all about Chicago theater, and I've talked about it on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Is that it's so cool. A lot of my theater teachers from Columbia College are quoted in this book.
What?
Yeah, it's so astounding. And a lot of my theater teachers had been very active in the theater scene out there, and I remember seeing some of them in plays, and it was just the coolest thing to see them practicing what they're preaching, being committed to their characters, showing us as an example of like, look, this is what I'm trying to get at, with you guys. I'm trying to let you let loose with here, and it's like, man, it's so cool to read what's going on with this ensemble theater. There was no competition between any of these theaters. It was the coolest thing. They were just excited to have other theaters in town, and some of them would leave this place to go work at that place, and some of these people would trade these actors with these actors, and man, I just loved it. It's so cool to be reading this. I'm reading a lot about Jim Belushi, actually.
Oh, really?
Jim Belushi went to the same junior college, or whatever you call it, community college that I did, called College DuPage, and that's the same one that his brother John Belushi, both of them went there. And Jim Belushi, it's funny, I ended up finding out that he had formed his own improv groups when he was going to...
Jim Belushi?
Yeah, Jim Belushi had formed a couple of improv groups when he was going to College DuPage, and so did I.
College DuPage?
Oh my... That? It's like a community college, but it's like, like what is it? I don't know. Do you know about Valley? What is it called? Valley? I don't know. There's some... Have you ever been to a community college? It's like a halfway bridge between a high school and then like a university or a...
Moore Park College.
Okay, there you go. So it's like... And so you can get... it's a good idea to... If you find yourself that you want to move on to a larger college, this is what was so exciting to me. I always knew that I wanted to go to Columbia College ever since I was a little kid. That was the only college I ever was going to go to, and that was it. I had no other college in mind. And wouldn't you know, years down the line, it ends up turning out to be one of these colleges that you didn't need an SAT for, or that you didn't need an ACT. So I never took either one of those in high school. And because I knew I'm going to Columbia College, I don't need to, here we go. And so it was so crazy because the revelation struck me where, what if I take all my general studies at community college? Because it's going to be much less money. Right. I take all the general studies, get all the stuff out of the way that I don't want to do first, and then when I go off to Columbia College, all I have to do is just take drawing classes and acting classes. I don't have to take any other thing that I don't want to do. It's just I'm going to do it on my own terms. And, it felt so good. So while I was at College DuPage, it was just the coolest thing because... That's where I was in a lot of plays, and I just love the fact that that Jim Belushi went up there. I mean, when I was reading that and I saw that,
be able to use this. That's what I used. It's
multi-purpose.
Before. I straightened one of those out before, and it worked great.
Let's see. So knowing that he, went there. I mean, it's just so cool to me. So I'm learning about all this stuff that these guys were doing and the waves that they had made. Because up until that point, basically only New York was viewed as a well-respected theater town. And but man, once they got the ball rolling, it really got rocking and rolling. They're talking a lot about Second City in there, and
really?
Ensemble is if everyone were to take an improv class, or let's say jazz, because jazz is improv, and you got to be really in tune with your fellow players to go, all right, you know what? It's saxophone's time in the limelight right now. Oh, it's now it's time for the drums to do this thing.
Get this.
And it's now time to
poke that out so I can.
Now it's time, for the whatever cellist to do their little thumpity thump, and and then you just feel each other out. You get this idea that you're sort of the same organism, and all egos are aside. It's just pureness, and I love it. It's such a good vibe. It's such an addictive vibe. And
dopamine. You want to experience it again and again and again.
Yeah, knowing what that true harmony is, that satisfaction. That satisfaction of everybody being in their element. And
you're doing it for me. Thank you.
And just
get that
being
in there as far as you can.
Just being what they are, man. It's so cool when everybody realizes everybody's strengths and just encourages it more and more and more. Go, okay, farther with that. Where else can this evolve? Let's go. Let's do this together. And oh man, it's just so satisfying. All right, here we go. All right. Oh man.
Inspirado Projecto Radio wants you to know that Man Behind the Machine was censored again today on the Unix group on Facebook. The Unix for vintage IBM and Sun users. The Windows 7 post they disabled the comments on. They disabled the comments on the new post about Windows 7. As you know, Windows 7 expired this week. It essentially died off. Microsoft will not do any updates. Anyways, Unix, they turned the comments off. So another example of censorship on Facebook. Stay tuned. Keep up with our progress. We might be off there. Who knows what kind of other censorship's going to happen. What are your thoughts? 313-MAN-0231, 313-MAN-0231, or leave a message here. Love you guys.
Wowzers, Man Behind the Machine with yet another extraordinary finding of censorship. As far as I know, Man Behind the Machine, there's not anything offensive from what you're putting out there. You're an investigator like the rest of us, and you're getting people curious about what you're investigating. So what I'm curious about is, what comment did you leave that got censored? How about that? I need to hear that. Then I can make a better assessment. Did they turn off comments just for you? Did they turn them off for everybody? Sometimes people do that. They just turn off comments for everybody. It's very similar to putting our earbuds or headphones on and walking through the populace. You're carving your own reality. You're creating your own experience. You're creating your own soundtrack and not having to listen to anybody arguing, complaining, blah, 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 blah. A lot of folks view complaining and whatnot, complaining and all that jazz about stuff that doesn't relate to them as something they don't want to hear. I think this is why I think it's just remarkable. I love that things like on Facebook, anywhere. I I have sort of a different approach, or an extra approach. I'll just say an additional approach to the idea of closing off the comments. I think what's happening here is with this ability for us to customize our feeds, customize our information that's coming through to us, it's a psychological. It's a psychological. What's the word I'm thinking of? Representation, symbolic representation of kind of how just life as we know it is. The idea that we are carving our own realities. You know, it now becomes this. It becomes this analogy for you know, it's what is it? As things get infinitely smaller, they also get infinitely bigger. It grows in both directions, in all directions. So, if this is something that we can do right now, we can, in a sense, I guess I'll say censor since we're talking about censorship. Censoring and or turning off, tuning out, like noise-canceling headphones, the things that we don't feel serve us. I do that. I don't watch the news. I don't get involved with politics. I don't any of that stuff where it's like me. Kids throwing poopy diapers at each other. I don't adhere to that. I get to follow my heart where I want to have the media come towards me. So in a sense, I guess I'm censoring ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, CNN, all that jazz. I'm censoring it from my reality experience. So I can imagine people, you know, like you say, disabling comments. That is a good way to safeguard people from hearing negativity, or what goes against the grain of what direction or momentum they're gaining in. I think it's possible to gain momentum in all directions. You know, if it benefits a society. If it truly benefits a society, give and take, I'm talking the true ensemble mindset, then there's room for everybody. There's no need for competition, no need for I'm better than you. Like there's this crazy thing that's going on, and I'm perpetuating it by talking about it, but apparently there's some baby peanut that was born that looks suspiciously like Baby Yoda. And it was in a Super Bowl commercial. I knew about this because people are throwing these things up on Twitter, and all of a sudden the hashtag is like hashtag baby peanut, and then of course my suspicion was that they hired people to drum up a controversy. Like they already had everything planned out. Like, okay, let's tax in, let's join in the fun with the Baby Yoda thing. Now let's make a baby peanut, and then we'll make the audience battle. Who do you prefer, Baby Peanut or Baby Yoda? And so that way we're always in the vocabulary of Baby Yoda, and we psychologically, successfully have psychologically linked, subconsciously, subliminally, we've linked up Baby Yoda with Baby Peanut. So every time people think of Baby Yoda, they start salivating for the peanuts, and they go, "Oh, I wish I had, the baby peanuts." Imagine the merchandising that's going to be happening now. They're going to start making memes. Mark my words, they're going to start making memes with the baby peanut, and the memes are going to very closely resemble all of the Baby Yoda memes. I bet you they're going to redo all of the Baby Yoda memes word for word. This is just my theory. I can imagine this happening. Also, we'll also see lots of other baby characters. We will see lots of other baby-type characters out there in the world. This is my prediction. I put this up on Twitter a couple nights ago. We'll see a lot more baby characters out there in the world that are going to sprout up in TV shows and movies. And that's my prediction. We might see this with other foods, all kinds of anythings. So that's my 2 cents. In fact, maybe even silver dollar. Oh my gosh, we've arrived at the Best Western Trade Winds here on Market Avenue. And let's see. Beach Street. Not to be confused with the breakdance movie called Beat Street. I'm staying right here in front of this huge rock. I'm looking in the direction of Carla's Country Kitchen. That yellow sign. I just had some of these delicious pretzels. I tells you. Oh my God. These pretzels are so good. What's so crazy is these are those kinds of pretzels where they got the peanut butter in them. Which, by the way, how the heck do you do that? How do you get a peanut butter inside of a pretzel? I don't want to Google it. Plain and simple, I just don't want to Google it right now. But if you know the answer, please let me know. So the interesting thing about this is that Pauly Shöres just went inside the building. I'm out here lollygagging, busy talking to you. People are walking across the street right now, wearing shorts, hats, sunglasses. Like it's like a warm summer day. Older gentleman to the right, looking both ways, approaching forward, wearing a kind of a hoodie, headphones around his neck, not on his ears, around his neck, and confident in the path he's choosing. So these pretzels, they have a banana, a hint of banana to them. And Pauly said, oh, they're going to taste a little bit like banana because they're in the same bag that we had the bananas. And I thought, man, this is a beautiful invention. So then you got the pretzels with the peanut butter inside, and then one of those, you know how they have like buttery pretzels? They got it feels like there's like a buttery glaze. You do a banana glaze on this thing. There you go. The bada boom, bada bing. It's like having imagine you could do it with like strawberry type of flavoring. Then it's kind of like having little peanut butter jelly sandwiches. I had some pretzel bread when my dad was in town. And, oh, thank you. I've just been given the hotel key. The hotel. This is good. It's good. We got our Wi-Fi and everything. So, that might be something to think about. Different dips, different tastes. Apple. All kinds of stuff. You can do all kinds of stuff. If you could figure out a way to put peanut butter inside a pretzel, I'm sure someone's got to figure out a way to put Bavarian cream in there. Maybe even some, I don't know, pineapple? Is that out of the question? Pineapple, how about pineapple preserves? It's the preserves. Jelly versus preserves. Can they coexist? Because I think every preserve has got to be encased in some kind of jelly, so no matter what, the jelly will never get away from being a preserve, and the preserve will never get away from being a jelly. Now, will it? What are we looking for here? You want me to bring your charger? Hey, hombre.
Okay. Yeah, bring my charger. Not that one, the big one. There should be a big one. You can bring that. I might have a cube for this. Bring this, just in case. But there's another one floating around that I brought. Oh, here it is. This is from my phone.
So it's one and the same. That's all I'm trying to say. It's one and the same. Okay. So just one and the same. Can I? Do you mind if I interview you for my?
BUROWS, brother.
Burrows.
So you had seen us previously where?
Just on Instagram, I seen you guys. I seen you guys on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
I seen you on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
you've been watching. Okay, so this is going to be your very first live shoot.
This is my first live Frankie show. I'm excited.
I love hearing this.
My girlfriend. I just got divorced like a year ago, and I got a new girlfriend, and we're down here, and I was telling her about you guys. We came out last night, and they said, "You coming?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!"
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! This is incredible! All the way out from Fresno. How many hours did it take for you to drive here?
3.5, man.
Wowzers!
Not that much more than us.
Yeah. You just come from a different direction.
Yeah. So I'm excited, bro.
All the way from Fresno.
I'm
This is really exciting that you're here.
I'm excited.
So I told you I'm Stony Shores, right?
Yeah.
Pauly Shöres
I know.
right here.
I know.
Oh.
I know.
How do you?
I know. But you guys
so
are awesome,
that
man.
people know it.
You guys are awesome, bro.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome.
Oh wait, here.
Bill
This is something
Burrows,
fun.
right?
Here.
Bobby Burrows.
Bobby Burrows.
I'm going to give you these. Actually, this is a very old one. So this is sort of a collector's edition. But these are.
Man,
I'm
bro.
going to give you these. Okay, all those. You can keep whichever ones you want and hide whichever ones you want wherever you can. Or give them your friends or whatever you want. But I just like to hide them like little Easter eggs everywhere I go.
Bro, you're awesome, man.
They're so much fun.
I
Oh, dude.
love you guys, man.
Oh man. Oh, you know what? Since you appreciate that so much, here, check it out. Here, check that out. I'm going to give you.
You guys are awesome.
I'm going to give you some of these now too, since you like that so much. Here.
You guys know you're sold out, right?
Oh yeah, here, check it out. Some guitar picks for you.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, those are for you.
Oh, fuck,
yeah,
dude.
some guitar picks, yeah.
No, man, I fucking appreciate
Thank you so much
you.
for coming out, man.
No, man. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are fucking awesome,
The more that the audience gets into it and really just the whole thing is getting into the same harmonic kind of reality and going, okay, just kind of surrender to it because it's just good vibes. It's such positivity. And what's great is once you see everyone really get into it, it's like, whoa, and we just all give it back to each other.
Dude, is that like fucking not like a hard-on though? Like fucking when you're out there.
It feels like I'm levitating. It feels like I'm about to have an out-of-body experience
I can only imagine, bro. I don't have your talent or anything, but I can only imagine being on stage and doing what you guys do. Just fucking doing your thing and doing it for us.
Oh man, it
doing
is so
it for
fun.
us, bro.
I feel like
you're doing it for us.
You're
doing it for you too, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it makes such a huge difference when the people in the audience give it back.
Yes.
So it's like give and take.
Yes.
We're hitting a volleyball back and forth to each other, and it's like you could feel.
Bro.
It's like that like when they stick that guy in the astronaut in the centrifuge and they spin him around. That's what it feels like. And you're just like you become this crazy. Oh man, it's so fun. It's gonna be so great for you. So you're here with your wife?
My girlfriend.
You're with your girlfriend. Where is she hanging out?
She's inside. She's
gotcha.
out.
Oh, they let people in already.
Yeah, they're trying to a few people in. I think they'll kick people out though because you guys are sold out.
That's right.
You guys are a sold out crowd.
Did you guys get the tickets before you came out?
No, we didn't get the tickets. They came there so we can't get tickets. And I'm like, oh, there's no way. I said, no way. Do you have tickets?
I cannot make a promise, but I will I'll plant a suggestion in somebody's ear. Okay.
I know the owner.
Oh, you know the owner?
Yeah, he came
Can
up.
he get
introduced. He came. No, he came in and introduced myself tonight. He's like, oh, hey, I'm the owner. Blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, we're here to see you guys, and he's like, oh,
if you could find a pen and paper, just write me down
your
name.
Let me go get it.
And just put +1. Your name +1. And I'll see what I can do. I'll see who I can talk to.
I mean, just in there. We're gonna be the first ones on the dance floor. We're gonna get the crowd going. I'm gonna get the crowd going for you, bro.
I will definitely plant the seed in their ear, and I will tell them.
So we just got here yesterday. We just found out you're in town. I'm like, oh, Lisa, we gotta go. We gotta go. And they're all, we're sold out. I'm like, oh, how do you do it? We looked online. We couldn't be a ticket online,
I think it's so
bro.
cool that you happen to come out anyway. I would say even just give it a try, just to test, just to see, because sometimes people don't show up, and so it's like, So
let me go right now.
Let
me go in there right now and get some.
Okay, cool.
No, but we came in there.
Oh, yeah.
I said, dude, I'll pay $50 a ticket, $60 a ticket, and they're like, oh, we're sold out.
Whoa,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Sailed out, baby. Another sailed out show.
Another
sailed out show.
I'm Bobby. Yeah.
Thanks for being out here. This is so cool. This is his first show ever.
Yeah.
He's seen us on Instagram and all these places, and he drove all the way out from Fresno.
Yeah.
Came out from Fresno. Isn't that crazy? I like meeting the folks who.
This is a good place.
Let
You been here
me
before?
get that though, bro. You can.
Yeah. This is your first time
in here, and I like it. Right off the bat, I like how it's set up. Sounds
So
great.
cool.
They have lighting. I'm gonna piggyback off of both. So
That's
I'm gonna,
great.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it, man. It's totally like the A-Team. You're like the guy who's like you guys are like the guys who are in the van, like in the A-Team van, like
I wish there was like
doing
an
all
18.
like that.
I wish there was an 18 van that we could follow around.
I've been thinking about that so
Crew
much.
van?
Yes, it would be
18?
awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah.
With the thing on the side.
Absolutely.
And the side pipes and everything.
Yeah. That's right.
Hey guys, have a great day.
I just saw Arturo. What is up, dude? Good to see you, man. It's so cool, man. Another great night.
Of course, but I know you guys will be great. Thank you very much. Take care.
Well, we shall see. Wouldn't that be great if we were able to get that guy in for free? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Man, that's so crazy. These people who are coming out just from seeing us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they come on out. How the heck do they know our names? This is crazy. It's in their brains. They know it. So what I'm going to do is, there's a big rock over there, man. It's crazy. I'll be recording more later. It's amazing that rock is out there. Here we are at the Siren, corner of Main and Harbor, right on the corner. Here to all these great folks, and I cannot wait to see how tonight's going to turn out. More behind the scenes later. We're doing a little bit of sound check here at the Siren. And it's Groundhog's Day. It's Groundhog's Day today. It's also my mom's birthday. And Caddyshack is on, which is great because there are groundhogs. And also, it's funny that Bill Murray was in Groundhog's Day. So it's just so funny how they combine that stuff. And what's his name from Too Close for Comfort? Is that what it was? He's like, Monroe. He kind of talked like that. Bob Knight, Bill Knight, Monroe. All right, that's all for now. So interesting. I'm reading this book, Ensemble, The Oral History of Chicago Theater by Mark Larson. And so this woman, Pam Marsden, she and a couple others, they got together and they made the International Theater Festival of Chicago. It was launched in 1986, and apparently it says it was the only regularly scheduled event of its kind in the United States, and it brought cutting-edge and classical drama to Chicago every other year. So Jane Nichols Solins, her husband Bernie, Bill Connor, and Russ Smith. Bill Connor was with the Court Theater. Russ Smith was with the Steppenwolf. They were sitting around and they were doodling some ideas on a napkin about putting this thing together. And so this woman Pam is talking about the history of this. Or no, I'm sorry. No, who's talking about this? Jane. So Jane is talking about this. And then she goes, oh, we were very lucky because we got Pam Marsden, who's now at Sony Animation. This couldn't have been done without Pam. And then it cuts to Pam, what Pam has to say about it. And then Pam goes, I was the first employee of the festival. I don't even remember my title. I think I came in to help manage logistics. So that little piece just that little piece of the fact that this woman doesn't remember what her job title was or what she did with the festival, which to this other person who helped start the festival, it was a huge deal. The whole history of starting this thing. To one person, it's a really big deal. Remembering all the details of how the festival began, who started it. To the other person, they're not really certain about how it came about. So this started making me think about the accomplishments that we do in our life. We'll hear about that a lot of times, where someone is praised for this extraordinary, maybe an episode of a TV show, a song, of an album, and the person who, is affected by it, they know all the ins and outs. They know the whole history. They know the gears. They know the wires, the pumps and the valves and the, all that stuff, all the fluid that goes through it. In other words, they know what makes that machine tick. Whereas the person who is a part of that machine, you'll hear about these stories where they just forgot or they don't remember. So it got me to thinking. We put together these amazing accomplishments. We do these astounding things. And some of those of us who put them together remember. Some of those of us who remember, who put them together don't remember. So imagine this in the grand scheme of things. Would you rather be the person who helped put together a phenomenal thing? Let's say, for instance, you won an Oscar for a performance for a movie. And everybody remembers that. It's in the history books. It's talked about on podcasts, all this stuff. But you yourself couldn't remember it. You didn't know the details. You forgot half of the story. Maybe you were so drunk that night, you just went through the motions. You don't remember being there. Would you rather be the person who did this thing that seemed to be extraordinary? It seems to be marvelous, completely extraordinary in all these other people's eyes for decades, and they remember this for decades. But you forget. Okay, you don't remember it. Would you rather be that person or the person who remembers the most extraordinary and outstanding epiphanies, dreams, intriguing conversations, I don't know, improvised songs that you've created where basically maybe no one else was around, or maybe there's a very small gathering. So in other words, would you rather have it where only you remember these extraordinary events, and not many other people do, because maybe they weren't around, or maybe they were there, they forgot. So you'd rather be the person who did something that might not necessarily seem monumental in the world's eyes, and you loved it, you were so passionate about it, you loved it, you remember every little detail, or the person who did something that apparently was monumental in the eyes of the populace, but you don't remember any of it. Which one? Which one is worth going to your deathbed with the memories of? Do you want to be sitting there in your deathbed with the memories of, those tender moments you shared with your kids? Those extraordinary moments where you saw them take their first steps, eat solid foods, lose their first tooth, learn how to jump on a trampoline, tell the difference between what kind of clouds are in the sky, figure out how to paint with oils, learn how to mow the lawn, I don't know, any of those things. I'd rather be the person who remembers all those things, or the person who apparently is widely known, world-renowned. What pops in my brain is like a Michael Jackson type character. Maybe they've done all this great stuff, but they can't go out there into the populace. They can't, in person, return that love. It's interesting. Let's say, for instance, a musician makes a song that's very, very powerful, very personal to them, and it's a one-on-one type of thing, very personal song that affects a populace. Yet that same singer
doesn't go out in the populace and talk to the fans, so they're very confused. How is it that this singer, who sings such beautiful music, such personal music that I relate to, and how is it that they can be such a jerk to me? How is it that they can be so cold, mean, unusual? And then you're going in that moment, you're like, whoa. Was the song disgenuine? Is this person's mood bad? You know, there are a number of ingredients. And then there are those who just love going out in the populace, love meeting all the people. It's crazy, man. These Yächtley Crëw shows, it's getting to be... You just keep getting to just be crazy. We walked out the side door to go move some stuff, I think I was telling you. Move some stuff out of the truck, and I heard people clapping as they saw us going out there and getting this stuff. These people are enlightened by this. There's a guy I met out there with his wife. They drove all the way from Fresno. They'd seen our videos. They invited 50 of their friends to come out, but the whole show was already sold out. 50 of their friends. 50 of their friends. We let them get on the list. I got them on a list. This is crazy. I met the couple and I'm just going over this in my brain. I met the couple, I met the guy. I go, hi, I'm Pauly Shöres, nice to meet you. He's like, oh, I know. I'm thinking, you know? How the heck do you know? How the heck do you know? Just insane. It's just insane. I met a woman at the show, after the show. She was there with her Navy buddies. And she flies the fighter jets, like in Top Gun. Did I say this already? I can't remember. I'm just enthralled with this idea. And she said that when she was a little girl, she saw Top Gun and she realized, I want to do that. And she's doing it. And she said that Top Gun 2 came around and they actually used her fighter jets. They used their fighter jets. And I thought, man, what a crazy, crazy manifestation of reality. That's astounding. Astounding. Wow. Anyway, I just had to get that out there. So just remember, folks, indulge yourself in the excitement of doing what you're doing. Does it give you enlightenment? Does it give you excitement? The whole world doesn't need to know about it. You don't have to win an award publicly in a public forum to be, quote, recognized. Your recognition really is truly all that matters, because you're the one who carries yourself around with you wherever you go. You, just being you, just you, your unique self, are spectacular. You're a dynamic creature. None other in the world like you.